Spread your legs. Clear. Let's go. Welcome to Dog in the Yard with your boy Pistol Pete. Today's guest is Fabian. Fabian's from Queens. He did 21 years for murder. His big brother got into altercation, and Fabian handled it. So, with that being said, let's get right to it, man. You already know Fabian from Queens. Dog in the Yard, it's that yard talk. Your boy Pistol Pete. Bah. Man, I want to just take the time out to thank my guys up there, Jake and Ben, for doing an amazing job with this pen. This is that Dom CBD pen. These guys took their time doing this pen. It tastes great. They do them 3 different flavors: berry, mint, and mango. My favorite is berry, just to let you know, guys. You know, I know a lot of people out there dealing with pain, you know, dealing with anxiety, the way I deal with anxiety. And I'm telling you guys, it works for me. If you want to place your order today, you're more than welcome. Just hit up domecbd.co. Punch in the code, Dog in the Yard, and you get your 15% off early. So for those people that's out there that's going through it right now and is stressed out in the house, that don't smoke marijuana, trust me, my brothers, this CBD pen does it all, man. Place your order today, man. It's your boy Pistol Pete, Dog in the Yard. You already know. When you in that Tampa Bay area, make sure you reach out to my boy Gus Torres, man. If you want anything that has to do with real estate, man, make sure you hit him up. You get the lowest prices and the finest houses, man. Trust me when I tell you. But don't forget to mention my name. You already know that Pistol Pete will get you that early discount. And that's my brother, man, Gus Torres. You already know, out in the Tampa Bay area. Make sure you hit him up, man. Sell, buy, invest, all that. Make sure you hit him up, man, because he focused with that out there. Tampa Bay, you already know, it's your boy Pistol, man. Get at me. You already know what it is, your boy Pistol Pete. And when you in that Boynton Beach area, make sure you see my boy, man. If you trying to get lined up, shaped up, and you need that privacy, make sure you see my boy, man, at that Private Hair Studios, man, up in Boynton Beach, man, Gateway, man. And check out my boys up there, man. You know what I mean? They focus, man. My boy Herm, DJ, you know. They out there, you already know. It's super private, and it's exclusive. Most importantly, you already know it's your boy Pistol Pete, Dog in the Yard. What's good, brother? How you been?
Yo, what's good, Pete?
How's everything, man?
Man, you already know, on the grind always.
That's what's up, man. I'm happy that you're home, man, and thank you for coming to the show, man. You know?
No, thank you for having me. I'm glad you got this little arena. You got,
Yeah, this is a platform, man, for, for those ex-convicts, man, stuff like that, man, so to be able to have a voice, you know what I'm saying?
No, that's a beautiful thing, man. I'm glad somebody's doing it. I'm glad it's you, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. So what's up, man, Fabe? How long you been home, man?
I came home summer 2011, so what's that, 8 years?
8 years. After doing
21.
21 years.
Yeah.
So you went to prison for 21 years for murder.
Yeah, I mean, the whole shit started because of my older brother. He got into a little problem, and eventually I ended up, handling it. And I was only 16 at the time. So
yeah, that's what I want. I want to know, like, what you went through, the transition of a kid catching a case and going to prison, and stuff like that. At 16, like, tell me the whole vibe and shit.
Yeah,
how was that?
I mean, it was crazy, man. Just, I wasn't no street dude or nothing like that. You know what I mean? I'm from the tough side of Queens. I'm from Jamaica. That's where I was. That's where I lived my life. I was raised in Jamaica.
Okay.
But it was hood, but it was family hood. You know what I mean? Like, we all knew each other. So growing up wasn't wild for me. Like, I wasn't out there selling drugs or robbing dudes or nothing like that. Man, I was on some straight, just hanging out with the fellas, going to school, regular shit, man. Until, this shit popped off. My brother got into some beef. I ended up handling it, and, that's how I caught the body. And I was 16, so I tried to break out. I got caught in the airport trying to leave the country. And after that, it was over. It was a whole different life. It was Rikers Island, upstate.
How was that? Okay, so tell me, you got caught by the cops.
Yeah.
Trying to escape.
Yeah.
and you was only 16 years old.
16 years
And
old.
how was that? 16 years old, running around like you was
Oh,
scared,
oh man,
afraid.
it was. I mean, to say I wasn't scared is a lie. You know what I mean? I was definitely scared. I was like, damn, this like, I knew how, what the repercussions were. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Once I caught the body, I was like, wow, this is over. You know what I mean? There's no more the life as I knew it. You know what I mean? I knew that the life changed.
Okay.
Because I grew up in the hood, so I knew what it was to, do a bid, go to jail, what jail was about from all the stories and all that. So I was
Right.
like, wow, you know what I mean?
So you went to Rikers Island.
Yeah,
What year?
1990.
1990.
Yeah,
Went to the 4 building.
yeah, C-74. Adolescents at war. You could put your ear to the floor and you can hear the roar.
So that's what it was called.
Word.
And how was that experience for you, man?
Oh, that was wild, man. Cause I look like a nerd. You know what I mean? I don't look like that tough face, scars
Where
on
you
your
from?
thing.
Like nationality?
Colombia.
You Colombia.
Yeah,
That's what's up, man. I fuck with Colombians.
yeah. I'm from Colombia.
That's what's up.
Caleño.
Okay. So go ahead. So you
So
16 on Rikers Island in the C-74.
yeah, and basically looking like a nerd. I was like, 90 pounds soaking wet. Always been slim, skinny. You know what I mean? So it was pretty, off the rip. The first day, I mean, on the bus. You know what I mean? I already got beef because I got my chains on, got my jewelry on. I'm dressed up. Remember, I got caught leaving, in the airport.
Right.
So I was dipped.
Yeah, you was trying to go.
Yeah. So, from day one, it was on, man. It was like, I didn't even make it to the bullpens before I was already popping off, having a fight, because I definitely wasn't no soft motherfucker either.
Right.
I just wasn't on no gangster shit.
Mm-hmm.
But, it was wild, man. I had mad shit on me at the time, so.
Yeah, but so you on Rikers Island on C-74. So once you got there, how was that like?
Well, like I said, I mean, even before I touched that island, I was already into, drama in the bullpens and on the bus. You know what I mean? People trying to get at my shit. So by the time I got to Rikers Island, it was like, yo, listen, this guy can't even go to general population. You know what I mean? He's got to go to the Bing.
Okay.
So
what's the Bing for the people that don't know?
the Bing is like solitary confinement. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Where you can't go around with nobody else. You just in the cell by yourself, locked down.
Okay.
So yeah, it was crazy. That was day. That's day one. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I was like, fuck, this shit gonna be crazy. But anyway, yeah. I mean, back then, back in the '90s, Rikers Island was a straight. If you thought it was crazy now, multiply that by 20. Because back then it wasn't no catching no bids. You didn't do time. Like if you cut somebody, that's it. They just sent you to another house. You know what I mean?
That's it.
So nobody was scared to cut nobody or stab somebody or choke somebody the fuck out or nothing. There was just whoever could hold his own and that's it. You know what I mean? Now they
Was
got
it a lot
new
of gangs?
Nah, no gangs. Everything was on some borough shit, like the Brooklyn crew, the Queens crew, Uptown Posse. Every house had his own,
His own clique, his
right.
own crew.
Everybody was on some borough shit. It was like the Queens houses, the Brooklyn house.
Okay.
So it was.
So
on
you went
some
to the
borough
Queens.
shit.
You went to the Queen crew.
Eventually, I didn't start off in the Queens house,
Okay.
but I eventually made it to the Queens.
So you got housed. You was in Fort. You got to the house.
Yes.
What did they? Like when you got there, what happened?
Well, like I said, by the time I made it to the housing area, everybody already knew, like, the word gets around in prison. You know what I mean? From the people working in the bullpens and shit like that. So they was like, yo, there's this Spanish kid, looks like a nerd. He got mad jewelry on. The word was already out. So, by the time I got to my housing area, Spanish cat pulled my coat. Was like, yo, listen, man, don't even unpack, man. They're gonna get you. They're gonna get at you. So I was like, fuck, man. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, man, help a brother out. So Spanish dude was a suicide. Suicide, for people who don't know, is like an adult in an adolescent module that watches the adolescents to make sure nobody kills themselves or hangs themselves.
Okay.
So they called it suicide. So he's an adult. So he was like, yo, listen, shorty, there's a banger, over there by the toilet, man. Go ahead, do you. You know what I mean? So I went over there, got the banger.
So what's the banger? So
The
people that
banger
don't know what's a
it's
banger.
it's a knife made out of aluminum. You know, because they don't really got a lot of metal in there,
Mm-hmm.
but they do got aluminum shit. So it's an aluminum knife. Somebody
Okay.
made a knife with a piece of aluminum. So boom, I went and got the aluminum knife, and I was like, fuck, I killed somebody with this shit. I looked at that shit. I was like, God damn, this shit looked like some
That shit was
Rambo
big as
shit.
hell.
Hell yeah. I was like, what the
You
fuck?
felt it good though.
I
You
was,
you didn't
I
feel
felt
safe.
good because I felt like, fuck it. I know if I, at least I could back a motherfucker down with this shit.
Right.
But yeah, so, I had that, packed that shit, went to my bed, unpacked my shit. And sure enough, whoever was running the house at the time, this other Spanish cat, he was like, yo, son, man, what you want to do with that chain? You know what I mean? He was like, yo, it's like 50 of us, blah, 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 blah. So make a long story short, popped off. You know what I mean? Day one. So we scrapping, doing us.
So y'all fighting and everything.
Yeah, we fighting them. I'm trying to stab the motherfucker everywhere but in my mind, I'm saying like, damn, I already got a body. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to kill a motherfucker.
Right.
But eventually, I hurt him pretty bad. You know what I mean? And that just started off some whole other shit. You know what I mean? Now I got drama with mad, Spanish motherfuckers who's supposed to be, down with me. But it was tough, man.
So they was all trying to get at you.
Yeah, they was trying to get at me because I had jewelry on at the time. You know what I mean?
So what happened then? Did the rise? What happened when?
Back
when
then,
all
they
that
didn't
happened?
have the Ninja Turtles and none of that.
Right.
What they have now, basically, they pull the pin and a whole bunch of crazy squad comes in and nah. Back then, it was just a bunch of COs run up in
It
the
was
joint.
like the riot squad or something, right?
Right. So back then, it was just like, regular COs. It wasn't
They just
like
all rush in.
Yeah, they just all rush in
Okay.
and break it up and, just separate shit and, pack your shit and you go to another house and start it all over again.
So
you
that's
know
what
I mean?
happened.
Yeah, basically. Eventually, I got with the right clique, Queen's side, and they was like, yo, son, obviously we know what already happened, blah, blah, blah. And I said, you just got to keep doing you until finally they get it. They're like, yo, motherfucker ain't giving up his shit, man. You know what I mean? And that's how the whole bit was, man. If it wasn't fighting over my jewelry, it was
So how
fighting
long
over
you
the phone.
so how long you was on Rikers Island?
Almost 2 years, like a year and a half, a year and some change, a year and
So
a half.
you was fighting with for phones and that.
Fighting for phones, fighting for everything, bro. Over there, there's no respect over there. You know what I mean? There's like, you could go to sleep, shut your eyes out, and before you know it, your lock is gone. You know what I mean? You'd be like, what the fuck? So, it was just drama for everything over there, man. It was just
Rikers
wild.
Island.
Yeah. Fighting for the phone was usually the biggest beef. And the clothes you wearing, you know what I mean? I was on some jiggy shit. So I
Right.
used to stay dip. So I used to have beef with everybody, adults. I used to have beef with Spanish motherfuckers, other boroughs. Like, it was just beef all the time.
They just wanted your clothes.
Yeah, they wanted anything that looks nice, somebody wanted.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you don't fight for it, you just fooled. And I was never fooled. I wasn't going for that.
Okay. So you went to from there, what you do? You went to trial in Blue?
I went to trial thinking, my co-defendants was going to hold it down. And my co-defendants were older. Those were my brother's friends. You know what I mean? But they told I blew trial and I got 20 to life.
Okay.
I got the year from a new bid. I tried to escape from Rikers Island too.
Oh, so how we gonna skip? We can't skip that.
Oh yeah. That was a whole other.
So that's what I'm saying.
shit.
So you was on Rikers Island.
Yeah.
And you got because you already told us. So you was fighting for the phone and all that.
Yeah, I
You
was
finally got up with your Queens guys, and during this time here, you tried to escape.
Yeah, during my going to trial back and forth and shit. That's a whole other bullpen therapy. I was going crazy, man. Going to fucking court all the time. So I was like, yo, man, I know this is it's not gonna end good. You know what I
Right.
mean? So, I started scheming and shit, how the fuck I'm gonna break out. So me and my other boy from the Bronx, my boy Puerto Rican Boo, he's still up north. He got 65 to life. But anyway, my boy, me and him was pretty tight on the island and shit. So we both just schemed on how to fucking get out. Cause they had us in modules. At the time, they called mods. Them
Okay.
shits is made out of fucking tin and fucking sheetrock, and it's not metal.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we knew that, and we was like, yo, fuck, man. Like, how the hell they got us in here, and we can't just fucking blow a hole through this motherfucker? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we got down with this kid named Dominique, this white dude who his reputation was he kept breaking out of Spofford because he was real young. But they brought him to the island, and they was like, yo, they don't want him in Spofford because he keeps breaking out. So anyway,
Right,
we
escaping from Spofford?
Yeah, he was escaping from.
Wow, he must have been fucking good because Spofford is really tight.
He used to break out from Spofford. He used to break out from some other joint. I forgot the name of Highland. I forgot the name of some adolescent young kid shit for kids.
Okay. I was in Spofford. Spofford was tight.
I don't know how the fuck he did it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, holy shit.
That was his reputation. He was mad young, white dude too. So, there wasn't too many white people on the island.
So he got down with you.
So so we was like, yo, son, man, we know that, you kind of good with this escape shit. Like, what's good?
Wow.
Like, you see something here? He was like, man, do I? And that's it. It was on after that. We just schemed. To make a long story short,
don't make it short.
Nah, don't make it short.
Nah, don't make it short. That's what you're here for.
All right.
I want to hear it, man.
All right, so in the mods, right, they got a crew called, I forgot the fucking name of them shit, but anyway, it's you basically clean up, after the lights
like
out.
A porter?
Yeah, it's like porters, but they call it something like gang crew or cleanup crew, whatever.
Okay.
So we got down with the cleanup crew. That was part of the plan. Get down with the cleanup crew. That way, when everybody's in bed, everybody's lights out, and we cleaning up, we get access to the fucking closets. Okay. So in the closet, they got a fan, an exhaust fan. They have to have this exhaust fan in the closet. So we knew that exhaust fan was a way out. You know what I mean? Because it takes, somewhere from outside bringing in that fresh air. So when we started scheming in there, we seen that there was birds up there. We kept hearing the fucking pigeons in there fucking around. Right. So we was like, yo, there's a hole in here. There's a way out. You know what I'm saying? We just got to get to that motherfucker. So anyway, we eventually schemed it out. We seen like,
for how long?
That shit took a while, like maybe a month, 30 days. Within 30 days, we had the master plan. So we thought. So the plan was, at the end, when it was time to clean up, we're going to leave the closet door open. When the CO leaves, like around 12 o'clock midnight, like around 1 o'clock in the morning, the COs are sleeping. Them motherfuckers used to go to sleep. We just going to run up in here, jump in the motherfucking ceiling, break out. Now we on the island. And on the island, C-74 is the first building on the island. So you can literally see the water. So we was like, yo, fuck it. We gonna break out to the front of the C-74 where the fences is just for the buses, so they don't got that crazy barbed wire, crazy shit. So once we get over that shit, we just gonna have to make a run for that water. You know what I mean? Because in front of it is just a parking lot for the COs and all that shit. So that was the plan.
That was the plan.
All right. So boom. Eventually, one of my mans, this Chinese kid named Michael Lowe. I'll never forget him. He was like, yo, man, I'm going to sleep in your bed. You know what I mean? I'm going to sleep in your bed, and I'm going to make a dummy in mines. You know what I mean? Because the COs don't fuck with him. For whatever reasons, the COs didn't fuck with him. But they knew that, I was always on some bullshit. So the COs used to always come and check up on us. Anyway, Michael Lowe sleeps in my bed that day. You know what I mean? Takes my spot. Boom.
This is 30 days after.
Yeah, 30 days after the scheme. So we break in, we break into the closet, boom, boom, we break out. We jump on the ceiling, we out. We on the island. We outside the mod now. So when we outside, we see that the fucking COs are all smoking and drinking by what the fence that we were supposed to jump over. So we was like, fuck, we can't go that way. You know what I mean? So we was like, yo, let's just wait a little while and see if these motherfuckers leave. So we waited a while, like maybe a half hour. We was like, yo, these dudes ain't leaving, and we ain't got that much time. Eventually, they're going to do the count. They're going to start seeing. We ain't got that much time. So we was like, yo, fuck it. Jump back on top of this, on the roof and see if we could go down another way. So we went back on the roof, and then we jumped on another roof. Anyway, we was going from roof to roof, and eventually the part where we could jump down on, we jumped down on, and it was the yard. I think it was C-95 or C-73. I can't remember.
Okay.
So when we jumped in that yard, that fence was crazy. That shit had fucking barbed wires everywhere on it. You know what I mean? So we was like, yo, fuck. You know, we're fucked. You know what I mean? There's no way out this bitch. Because there was no way back up. Once we jumped down in that yard, there was no way back
You
up.
can't get back up because the ball wires is
Exactly.
all on the ground and everything.
Yeah, because we had jumped over all of that.
Dang.
So now we in that yard and we like, fuck, we fuck. So anyway, eventually we just started, you know, just running on the island crazy. Like we were just like trying to see which way we could fucking get in. And there was some construction going on. So they had some construction trailers and some bunch of other shit. So it was like, yo, listen, they're going to ring the alarm sooner or later. You know, we've been out here mad long. Let's just hide. You know what I mean? We're going to hide in one of these construction fucking trailers, get under that shit, hide, and see, and maybe they'll think that, you know what I mean, we broke out.
Y'all made it off the island.
Nah, we didn't make it off the island.
To make them think that you left off the island. Correct?
So, right. Mm-hmm. So, boom, we going high. Eventually, we hear the fucking alarms. And the shit start going crazy. Alarms start going off. Shit start fire. So, we already know, all right. You know what I mean? If we could make it
How
through
many
the
of y'all
night,
were? How many of y'all
it was me, Dominique, and my boy Boo, Puerto Rican Boo. So, it was us three. So, we hiding. We hear all this crazy commotion. Boom. Daylight comes. We see the fucking sun come out. So we been out there freezing our ass off, holding down. So I'm thinking like, fuck, we might get another shot at this shit. You know what I mean? So eventually we hear the COs, you know, they walking by us and shit. The search teams is out. And then we hear the dogs. So now we start hearing dogs, the fucking barking and all that shit. So eventually the shits make it to us. So the dogs start going crazy by me. Wow, that shit's barking. So I hear a female officer saying, you know, calling whoever it was, like, yo, such and such, I got something over here, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, fuck, they got us. You know what I'm saying? And eventually they got a bunch of other COs, you know, getting under the trailers where we was hiding at, and they see it, they caught us, you know what I mean? They were like, yo, got these motherfuckers, boom. So they pulled me out the fucking trailer, and then they start fucking me up. COs just start fucking me up, boom, boom. So, you know, I'm fighting back.
So they were just beating you up?
Yeah, they were just beating the shit out of me. They was just bugging. They was just
all
wild.
Three of y'all?
Yeah, I don't know what was going on with them, but I know they was getting beat up too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so
shit crazy.
Yeah, shit crazy. The dogs just barking. I just remember hearing the fucking dogs. That shit, I'll never forget. The dogs is going crazy, and the fucking COs is just pounding us. One of them got a stick, and he's beating the shit out my legs. So yeah, we get caught. They put the handcuffs on us. They put us on a bus, and the bus takes us to some like fucking makeshift precinct that they got on the island.
Okay.
And then we, you know, in another bullpen. So yeah, basically we got knocked. You know, we get caught. They had to take me to the hospital because he had fractured my leg, motherfucker, with the stick. And what's crazy about it is that when they rearrest us, the officer that from the outside that comes to rearrest you,
right? He
was one of my best friend's father.
Wow.
Word. But it was like a blessing in disguise because, you know, once he sees how fucked up I am, he goes, he tells the fucking captain of the island, he's like, yo, anybody else, you know, any of your officer put their hands on son again, I'm going to arrest them. You know what I mean? So that kind of stopped the beef with the COs. Yeah,
because they was being crazy.
Yeah, because they was tight. You know what I mean? Because I got whoever was the CO on that mod that day, we got them fired. You know what I mean? So they had a personal thing with us. But anyway, yeah, my one of my best friend's father was a fucking sergeant in the precinct, and he was the one that had to rearrest me. So I had a crazy conversation with him at the time. He was like, damn, that's crazy. Like, you was just with my son playing.
Right.
Like, yeah, I used to box in our basement because his son was one of the dudes that's teaching us how to box and shit. Mm-hmm. And that was crazy. I was like, we tried to break out the island.
So what happened? Did they rearrest you?
Yeah, they rearrested us. Then they sent us to the Bing, straight to the Bing. So I was,
which is the hole.
Which is the hole. And
special housing unit, guys.
Special housing unit, and I never seen my codees again until I went upstate, So they separated
So
us.
do you get more time for that?
Yeah, I eventually my co-D got 7 years because he didn't give a fuck. He liked going to court in the Bronx. That because when you get rearrested, you go for some reason you go to the Bronx.
Right.
You get cases in the Bronx. So our case was in the Bronx, and he got 7 years. He took it to trial. He said, "Yo, I want to take it to trial. I don't give a fuck. I got 65 to life. I want to go out for the trips and shit." I took the cop out. I took the 1 to 3.
Okay.
I took the 1 to 3, and that's how I got the 21 to life.
Okay, so for the murder you got 20 years.
20 years.
You blew trial.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was your first place you went at up north?
Upstate, the first spot I went to was Coxsackie. Was it Coxsackie? Well, no. I mean, when you get upstate, eventually, well, I forgot the name of that shit. That upstate joint, the
upstate.
reception.
Yeah.
And then from there, my first joint was Elmira.
Okay, so that was your first jail.
Yeah.
Prison.
Yeah.
And how was that like?
That was wild. That was adolescents and adults together. And I was bugged. That's when I first learned about the gang shit. Because when I was on the island in 1991, there wasn't no gangs. You know, the Latin Kings started popping up like the ending of 91. So I already had left the island. So anyway, when I got to upstate, all the Spanish people was like, "Yo, listen, the Latin Kings is running shit here, and you're a Latino, you got to get down." And I was never with that gang shit. You know what I mean?
Okay.
For some reason, I was just anti-gang. And, back then, the Latin Kings was like anti-black. And the majority of my friends was black.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I grew up with black dudes. Like, all the dudes I knew from the street was black.
Yeah, me too,
You know what I mean?
That's yeah.
So
you
yeah,
was like, what the fuck?
Word. So it was a conflict of interest, man. It was like, damn, man, y'all supposed to be my peoples, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, todos nosotros somos latinos, ¿qué está pasando? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm not trying to get down with that because, y'all going to war with the black dudes and the black dudes is my peoples.
Yeah,
Like,
we not with that.
These are my brothers. So anyway, they wasn't trying to hear that shit. You know what I mean? They was like, yo, listen, get down or it was on. So, yeah, it was basically on against my own people. So, yeah, I went at it with the Latin Kings and shit. I used to go to the yard. We used to just fucking go at it. And eventually, all the black dudes was like, yo, son, that's Fabian. You know what I mean? So, eventually, a big war popped off. You know what I'm saying? And I got it,
Where?
I went to the bar in Elmira and Coxsackie.
Okay.
Both adolescent jails at the time for adolescents. And I mean, it was just drama. It was just like I got beef with the Latin Kings now, and the Bloods wasn't out yet. You know what I mean? So it was just like me and my crew. You know what I mean? So I used to just go from jail to jail, just warring. Eventually, I got known, and Latin Kings was like, yo, that beef is dead. You know what I mean? And so
because you didn't really start the beef anyway.
Nah, I didn't start the beef, and a couple of heads knew me. Eventually, they was like, "Yo, son, that's it. That shit is a wrap. You know what I mean? It's over. You do you. You know what I mean? And we do us. And and different wars for different occasions. You know what I mean? Usually, all my beefs, all my problems came from friends. You know what I mean? Like my friends will get into a beef, then obviously I have to roll out with them.
So you was in Elmira and then you go to Coxsackie.
Yeah.
And then from there,
I mean, a lot of times the breakups used to be to the box too. I used to go to Southport.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So let me know, like, what was the occasion? What happened that you went
All
to
right,
Southport
so anytime,
for?
all right, I cut somebody. I cut somebody eventually in Elmira. They sent me to Southport. In Southport, I do my time.
What's Southport? For people that don't know.
Southport is just a giant prison for adults and anybody who got to go to the box, but that the jail doesn't want them in their box.
Okay.
So they just get you out of the jail and they put you in a box in Southport.
Right.
So in Southport, it's just you in your cell. It's just solitary confinement, and everybody in that prison is solitary confinement. There is no general population. Everybody's in the hole.
Right.
And you go out to the yard for an hour if you get it, because sometimes the COs will dead you. You know what I mean? So sometimes you get wrecked.
So how long you was
don't.
there in the box for?
I did so many different bids, man. I did
In the box?
Yeah, like on one occasion I probably did like maybe 4 months, and then I'll go to a regular prison, like in Attica. Like I was in Attica for like a couple of years,
Okay.
And in Attica, I got into some shit with the police and a whole bunch of crazy shit, wars and all type of shit. They got me out of Attica, and from there I went to what's the fuck is that name of that jail? Sullivan. In Sullivan, I eventually got into some shit and I cut somebody, and I got another.
So
bid
while
for
you
that.
was cutting some, I mean, like,
It was always different beefs, man. Like one of the beefs was one of the dudes that was feeding the prisoners that one of the dudes that fed us didn't want to give one of my paisanos you got extra hamburger or some shit at the time.
Right.
And I seen that the dude didn't give my boy no hamburger, but he went and gave some fucking police this, a whole tray of hamburgers. So I wasn't feeling that. You know what I'm saying? Step to son. I was like, yo, homie, man, how the fuck you gonna feed the police and not feed the peoples? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And he was a big name. You know what I mean? He was a big dude out of Brooklyn. And he had his crew, you know what I'm saying? So eventually it was like, fuck it, it's on. You know what I mean? Like, you don't like me, I don't like you, we got it on. So I ripped him.
So you
got
ripped
caught,
him, meaning
yeah.
you cut him.
Yeah, I cut him. And
You got
I
caught?
got caught, yeah, because we started scrapping after that, we got fighting, so police run up in us, they catch us. So I go to the box.
Well, you cut him with what?
Razor.
Okay.
So so I go to the box there, and from there I went to Southport. That's where I did like a year and some change in Southport. That's when you feel that shit. Solitary confinement for a fucking year. I
did 3 years in there.
That shit's crazy, bro.
I did 3 years in Southport, and I was under the ground. Like when, they had the whole jail was the box.
Yeah.
I was in the original box.
All right, so they had you where you couldn't see the daylight.
Nah.
No windows.
No windows or nothing. There you go.
There you go.
See, you've been there,
No,
I mean,
know. Trust
I
me.
tell people that all the time, like, the box was the whole box.
Right.
We get that, but I was down there like I ain't shit.
Yeah, you was in the.
I was down there. They
was
trying
in
to
the
control
can.
me.
You was in the can for real.
Yeah, they had me there for a long time.
Yeah, I was in Southport when that shit was wild. And I'm talking about when people would throw shit at you.
Yeah, I
people
was.
would throw
I was.
piss
I
at
know.
you.
I mean, I went through that phase when I had beef with the police, fighting them and shit like that, and through some shit. I finally made it upstairs and shit to where everybody else is behind the glass,
Right.
hot as fuck and all kind of shit. You know what I'm
that
saying?
shit was wild. I ain't gonna front.
So how was that with you though? I mean, that what you was going through and shit like that. Like,
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, man. I always been on some monk shit. Like one of my ex-girls calls me a monk. He's like, yo, you a monk, man. You know what I mean? And I think I got that from being in prison and being in the box so many times, and then the bang in the Rikers Island and all that shit. And I don't know, I just got comfortable with just being by myself eventually.
Yeah, it doesn't bother you.
Nah, I got comfortable with the shit, man. I used to just go in myself and I used to just read. I mean, I'll go through a library. I read through everything.
Right.
I read anything, everything, and that was just I get lost in the book. And that the only thing that affected me was when I went to Southport for that long stretch. I think I did like a year and a half for that cutting. And was when my pops came to visit me, because my mom's was doing a bid already.
Okay.
So my pops came to visit me, and he seen me behind the cage with the shackles.
And the plastic and all that, right?
All that. So they had me in shackles, in the fucking jumpsuit, and my pops is behind a
The
gate.
same thing happened to me. My mom never come to see me. She want to see me now.
So when he saw me like that, he started tearing.
Yeah, of course.
So my pops, like, to me, to see my father tearing, the only other time I had ever seen my father cry was when his dad passed away, my grandfather.
Okay.
That was the only time I seen my pops cry.
Mm.
So I seen him crying when they taking the shackles off and shit. And I'm like, yo, Pops, don't worry about it. I got this. He was like, yo, like, you sure, man? Like, yo, he was just bugging. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I was
of
like, yo,
course.
Pops,
You're
man,
his
this
son.
shit. Yeah, I'm telling him. I'm like, yo, Pops, I got this. You know what I mean? Don't
Yeah.
worry about it. I'm good. He's like, fuck. You know what I mean? So, I reassured him. I told him, yo, listen, I'm going to do this. Don't worry about it. I'm good, man. You already know. And, and that was the only thing that affected me. That was like something snapped in my brain, like, yo, I got to cool off, man. I got to chill.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm putting my pops through, crazy shit that he don't deserve to be going through. You know what I mean?
You don't want him to. You don't want him to come through and see you like that, and it's just not cool. It's not
Right.
healthy for him anyway.
Exactly. I was like, damn, man. You know what I mean? It's not about me. It's about my family too. You know what I mean? Because they going through some shit. So yeah. So after that one, I kind of chilled off.
So you came out the box?
Yeah, eventually it came out the box, man. And I got on some education shit, man. I guess I read so many fucking books. I wanted to read more books, and I got down with the college program.
Oh, how was that? Talk to me.
That shit was what's up, man. I ain't gonna front. That changed my whole bit. Like once I got into that college setting and that environment, I was just eating them books up, talking to professors from the outside because they volunteered. All that college shit was a volunteer thing because Pataki took the college out in 95.
Okay.
So when college, shut down in 95, the only colleges in prison are the colleges that were funding them themselves. Like they wasn't getting no money from the government no more.
Okay.
So I got down with that, and I got my associate's degree. I eventually got my associate's degree.
That's what's up, man.
Word. And
let's give it up, man. You already know. Give it up for my boy Fave, man.
And
that's what's up, man.
Word. And then basically I just changed my whole outlook, man. It was like, yo, I got to try to get the fuck out of here.
At what point in time, like how many years you already had? Like you have 21 years. Like at what point this happened?
This was like at least half of my bid. I had to have at least 10 years in, I think. Okay. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, I had a long time in already. Just on some straight bugging shit. I was just bugging out.
And then all of a sudden, that's it. It was
and then all of a sudden, I just like, yo, fuck it, this ain't gonna be my life. You know what I mean? Because back then, anybody with life used to get hit at the board at least 3, 4, 5 times. So that was an extra 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, damn, that's like 30 fucking years I want to do. You know what I mean? But, I started changing the outlook. I was like, yo, you never know. You know what I mean? I might make that fucking second board at least. You know what I'm saying? So I just started doing all that shit, college program. I eventually became a teacher's aide. And once I got into that school,
so you was helping other inmates.
Exactly. Once I got into that setting and they let me loose, they was like, yo, let Fabian rock. I started running my own programs. They was like, yo, you run this shit, you run that.
Where all this was happening at?
This started
like what prison?
I would say Sullivan, man. Like Sullivan and Green Haven. You know what I mean? Once I got to like Green Haven, I was already like off and running. You know what I mean? So I started getting down with the Latinos organizations and shit like that. And I'll eventually become the director, making my own programs. Like one of my best friends now, I don't know if you know Chacho from Brooklyn, Bushwhacker. Everybody know Chacho. That motherfucker is well known. He from Brooklyn. But anyway, one of my best friends right now, that's how I met him. I got his, I taught him to get his GED and shit. And,
word, that's what's up, man.
So when he got his GED, he was like, yo, son, man, I appreciate that, man. I love you, blah, blah, blah. Yo, and we've been tight ever since. And this happened in fucking Sullivan. Word.
That's what it is, man. Let's give it up for my boy again for that, man. So yeah, man. So that's a good accomplishment, man. You turned around you went from cutting people,
I went from knucklehead
to going to school and and getting your degree.
Yeah, to trying to educate my brothers, man. Definitely. Yeah. That was my passion. Teaching.
And that's a good thing. It's a blessing.
Yeah. And eventually, I got my second board. I made my second board.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to ask you. Let's go back to
all right, what happened to you? So what's fly about it is that since I had my associate's degree, Albany came down with this new protocol where it's like, yo, if somebody got their college degree and if they meet these other 2 requirements, I guess, not have any tickets for at least a 2-year period, I think it was. If you don't have tickets in 2 years, if you have a college degree, and I forgot some other, all your mandatory programs like anti-violence, anti-drugs, all those programs, that you qualify for an early board. So if I saw the board in 21 years, I could see the board in 20 years.
Okay.
So I made the early board. I qualified for the early board.
Okay.
So I went to the early board and they hit me. They was like, yo, nature of your crime. You're here for 2nd-degree murder. But we recommend you keep doing your thing, keep getting letters of recommendation. And when you go to your original board, we would consider. So I went to my original board after the 21 years, my original 21 years. And boom, sure enough, I gave them a spill. I can't even remember, because I used to be in my cell training myself to like, yo, listen, when
Ready for them.
Waiting. Because the first time I went to the early board, I was shook. You know what I mean?
You was nervous.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't really speak. You know what I mean? They spoke.
And how was the board? Like, how many people? Did you remember?
I think it was like 5 people. I think it was 5. I know there was a woman on that board too, because she did a lot of speaking. And the other people, they just asked a few questions. They were like, so it was quick. The first board, it went by so fast, man, that by the time I made it to my cell, I was kicking myself in the ass like, damn, man.
I should have said this.
I should have said this. I should have said that. I should have touched on this. You know what I mean?
So
it was just so
then you had a year before you see the original board.
Exactly. So within that time, I was like, "Fuck that." When I go see my board now, my original board, I'm talking. I'm going in.
So then what happened? So you went.
That's it. It was on. I went to that next board, and I just went in. I was like, "Listen, man. I was 16 years old at the time. You know what I mean? That's not the same person. You know what I mean? I just want to get that through to you that." The person, that did that crime at that time, that mentality, that you're not speaking to him. You know what I mean? I want you to understand that, if you do decide to let me go, you're not letting go of somebody that's a murderer or classified this or classified that. Everything that you see in front of you, all those papers that you're reading. Nah, I'm a new person. Like, I'm Fabian. My experiences have taught me this, have taught me that. My family, all the, the repercussions, and I realized
the effect that it took upon my family, all that shit changed.
Right, and that I affected other people. That
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? That I recognize exactly.
Yeah,
I want to acknowledge the victims. I didn't do that last time, and
Correct.
I regret it. And I was just going in, man. I went in. I must have been in there for so long that I think somebody else's board got canceled. Word, I was there that long, because then they started asking me mad questions, especially the female. The lady that sat on that panel, she just started asking me mad questions. She was like, yo, so what about this? What about that? And I was just going in. I just remember just like, yo, yeah, this, that, boom, 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 and that's it. It was like, listen, you let me go. Like, I want you to look at my pamphlet. Like, I brought a package.
You're never going to see me again.
Word. Look at my package. Like, I got jobs waiting for me. I got letters of recommendation from 3 lawyers who saying they want me to be their paralegal when I come home. I'm going to be, involved with these programs who already say they got a place for me to teach the anti-violence program. Yo, I was prepared. I'm telling you, I put my shit together.
You study that shit.
What, man? I was in that law library.
Shit,
I was going in.
Good for you, man.
Like, yo, fuck that. I got to
Good for you. You want to get out of here. Now that you're getting the opportunity,
word,
I'm going to do the right thing.
I jumped on it.
That's what it is,
and
man.
It paid off.
It's good, man. It's a blessing, man. It's good, man. I'm happy that you're home, man. So
you've
been home for a little while now.
Oh, that's a whole other shit.
I mean, so what's happening,
home.
man?
Oh, wow.
Baby. After doing 21 long years, like what you been doing, man? Like, how's everything? How's life treating you?
I mean, I guess for all of us who did bids, we understand what it is to like just do the simple shit and appreciate it and love that shit every day. Like, we could be on a bus or on a train and be like, yo, I'm glad I'm on this shit, while everybody else is miserable. You know what I mean? I still live my life like that. You know what I mean?
You know what's so crazy? Because I live like that too. I live my life like that too.
You know what I mean?
People look at shit and complain about certain things.
That's what I mean.
And I be like, and I tell myself, I feel so good just walking down the block.
I love this dirty urine smell. You know what I mean?
Like, who cares,
I'm
bro?
free, homie. You know what I mean? I still live my life the same way, man. Like,
and
I
what you been up
everything.
to?
I've been up to, oh man, one of the biggest things that I eventually got down with this program called the 5 Ventures. So it basically is people who coming home from doing time, and they start you off like learning how to put a business together.
Okay.
So I got down with that, and I put a business plan together. I made my pitches in front of like millionaires, like these what they call angel fund. I forgot, angel investors.
Okay.
And basically, they just listen to pitches. They just listen to like all kind of businesses that people want to start, and if they like it, they give you bread, and that's it. You off and running. So this program put us in front of these people.
Okay.
So I learned how to do business pitches. I learned how to put a business program together. I did all of that shit, and eventually, I won that contest because it was a contest. There was a lot of people competing for like 100 racks. So yeah, pitch after pitch, I was like, yo, listen, I want to put together this InfoNation. InfoNation is basically connecting the people that are in prison to the outside world. Because remember, in New York, they didn't have no email or Facebook or none of that. You know, you didn't have access to
No
the
social
internet.
media, none of
No
that.
social media whatsoever. So I wanted to build that bridge. So my company was about, you know, like trying to get, you know, people who are email savvy and all that and want to write, you know, the people in prison. Like, I'll make that link. Like, you write me, I'll write the letter and I'll send it to your peoples, whatever. And also social media, because there was a lot of people getting locked up that had social media like Facebook, Instagram, and all that.
Okay.
And I was like, yo, listen, I'll send me your passwords and I'll get, you know, all the info that you want on your, Instagram, Facebook, and I'll just be the middleman.
Right.
So everybody kind of liked the idea because, you know, not only did it have a social impact, you know what I mean, because it can also help, you know, lawyers and the legal system get in, you know, quicker contact with, you know, the people that are in prison.
Right.
So it just had a lot of good spins to it, and I
It's
got
almost
funded.
like running the Instagram and stuff.
It's just basically being the middleman because the New York courts, I mean, New York prison system is not going to let you have a laptop in your cell.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'll be your laptop. You know what I mean? You write me, I'll take care of your business.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Whatever it is, whether it's email, social media, letters, whether it's referrals.
That's not a bad idea, man.
Right. So I eventually won the contest and all that, but some shit happened and they was like, yo, we don't got the funds to give you. You know what I mean? So we basically could give you like 5 racks here, and after these 5 racks run out, come back, sit in the panel, and let us know what you need more money for, and we'll see if we could get that money. So I went through that for a little time, and I wasn't making no bread. You know, out here, the
Right.
bills pile up.
Of course.
So I couldn't let the business thrive the way it was supposed to thrive, so I had to abandon ship.
Okay.
And I got down, I met this producer. She does documentaries and stuff like that. She did the documentary for the 5 Ventures. So she had seen my pictures, recorded all my pictures. So she kind of knew me. She was like, yo, you got a beautiful idea. And you won the contest. Like, I would really like to put that shit out there, let people see that shit.
Right.
So eventually I got down with her and we put this show together called Hustler's Den.
Okay.
I got the show over here. So Hustler's Den is basically like Shark Tank, but hood. You know, you familiar with Shark Tank, right?
Right, yeah.
You know how everybody's pitching.
I love the Shark Tank.
Right.
I love
You
it.
know what I'm saying? So my shit was hood. My shit was Shark Tank, but hood wise, cause you know, that's all I knew, and I
Okay.
knew mad dudes home that was hustling. You know, hustling, not drugs or nothing like that, just hustling, working. Like, you know, dudes will have 1,000 ideas.
Right.
And I was like, yo, man, if all of y'all had a little spot where you could make your pitches to people who had bread, I know y'all take off. So that's how Hustlers Den took off. And I put a little show together, and we started pitching that shit to networks. And eventually I learned the hard way, man, how you could get raped by signing the wrong contracts, man.
Yeah. Sometimes it happens, man. It's a learning experience.
Basically. So
That's
yeah,
all right. You're still here.
No, I'm definitely
Still
still
free.
here.
You know, you still got ideas. You still got, you know what I'm saying? That's what matters, man.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, right, Fabe? What you think about jail reform? What you think about that? You know, celebrities and everybody getting involved, important people getting involved, you know, as far as helping people getting out of jail and, you know, just
I think
in period, in general.
it's a twofold question. You know what I mean? Jail reform could go, you know, after you come out and when you inside. Like,
Right.
jail reform, you know, there's a lot of support that celebrities like to do with people who's coming home, and that's beautiful, that's great. But you forget about, you know, you got to work with these dudes inside, man.
The
You
ones
gotta
that's
get
innocent.
innocent, or just doing time. Like, you
Right.
need to start the reform inside prison. Like,
Right.
you need to change their mentality, their outlook,
Okay.
you know, their future perceptions from in there.
Mm-hmm.
And let them, you know, eventually when they get outside, then you have that other network of reform. So yeah, I mean, reform is definitely necessary if you want change. Some people don't
Absolutely.
want change. Some people like the way it is. They like killing, us, watching us kill ourselves and going back and forth to jail, selling drugs, not knowing nothing else or how to get money. Some people like that. So,
Absolutely.
I'm with it. I'm with the reform, man, 100%. And it needs to take place inside jail and outside jail.
Well, listen, Fab, man, it was a pleasure, man, having you, man. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for coming to the Dog of the Yard. This platform is for the youth. You know what I'm saying? For those, that all the kids that they don't have no guidance. They out there just lost. People just, we never had that. You know what I'm saying? In a lot of ways, a lot of us never had that.
Absolutely.
So this platform is basically, so we could open up and they could see that, we need shows like this. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man. And I can't wait till your show take off when you can start taking questions, because I'm sure when people listen to it, they be having 1,000 questions. Let me call in. Let me know this. So, yeah, I love it. I love it.
So, thank you for coming, man. I appreciate
thank you for having me, bro.
That's what it is, my brother. Love, man.
Likewise.
I want to thank Fabian for coming through. Fabian been home since 2011. He's been doing this thing. He's out here, and he's giving back to society. Never been in prison again, and we want to keep it like that. So with that being said, I want to thank Fabian for coming through. And it's that yard talk, man. You already know with your boy Pistol Pete.
Splash. 1, 2. This is a step. This is how gangsters do it. Splash. Step. 1, 2. I'm in a whole lot of zones. They look like colonoscopes. I got the white for the white boy that's sniffing the shit, then he ski down the slopes. I got the can for that lady that thinks she could take it, but know that she can't. I got that work for that work that's gonna work.